There are moments in life that quietly reveal our perceptive thinking, the person we believe we are and the person we still have the chance to become. Most of us spend our lives trying to prove that we already know enough, that we have the answers, that our opinions are settled, and our understanding is complete. One man spent his life doing the exact opposite. The more people admired his wisdom, the more determined he became to discover how much he still had to learn. His name was Socrates. Unlike many of the great names remembered throughout history, Socrates never wrote a single book. His ideas survived because the people who walked beside him believed his conversations mattered too much to disappear. His classroom was not a grand academy or a private hall. It was the streets of Athens, the busy marketplace, the workshops, anywhere people gathered, believing they already understood the world around them. While others delivered speeches, Socrates asked questions, calm questions, honest questions. Questions so simple, they often revealed how little certainty could survive once it was examined. Then something happened that would shape the rest of his life. A close friend traveled to the temple of Apollo at Delphi and asked the oracle a single question. Was there anyone wiser than Socrates? The answer came back without hesitation. No one. Most people would have accepted the praise, protected their reputation, and carried on believing they had reached the top. Socrates couldn't do that. He knew too well how often he changed his mind, how many questions still had no answers, and how much of the world remained a mystery to him. Instead of celebrating what he had heard, he decided to investigate it. If the oracle was right, he wanted to understand why. If it was wrong, he intended to prove it. So he began searching for someone wiser than himself. He spoke with politicians who appeared certain until they were asked to explain the principles behind their decisions. He met poets whose words inspired thousands, but who struggled to explain the meaning behind their own verses. He admired skilled craftsmen who understood their trade brilliantly, but sometimes believed that excellence in one craft made them experts in everything else. Everywhere he looked, he discovered the same pattern. Confidence was often mistaken for understanding, certainty for wisdom, and knowledge in one area for knowledge of life itself. Little by little, the answer became clear. The oracle had never meant that Socrates possessed all the answers. It meant he possessed something far rarer. He knew where his knowledge ended. While others defended certainty, he defended curiosity. While others wanted to appear wise, he remained willing to learn. That quiet humility became the foundation of everything he taught. One small moment captured this way of living perfectly. As he walked through the marketplace of Athens, surrounded by merchants displaying every luxury the ancient world could offer, Socrates stopped, looked around with a smile, and quietly said, "How many things there are that I do not need." He wasn't criticizing wealth. He was reminding himself that freedom begins when we stop believing we need everything placed before us, whether possessions, approval, or the comfort of always being right. That way of thinking eventually made him unpopular. Not because he encouraged people to rebel, but because he encouraged them to examine themselves. It is far easier to defend an opinion than to question it. Socrates simply invited people to look a little deeper, and many discovered they could not explain the certainty they had carried for years. Athens eventually placed him on trial. He was accused of corrupting the young and challenging the traditions of the city. He could have protected himself by abandoning the questions that had defined his life, but he refused. He chose honesty over comfort and principle over popularity, believing that a life spent avoiding difficult questions was far more dangerous than the consequences of asking them. More than 2,000 years later, the conversations Socrates began are still taking place. Not because he claimed to know everything, but because he reminded us that wisdom does not begin with having all the answers. It begins the moment we become curious enough to admit there is still more to learn. They told us, we forgot to listen.